Members' motion with no legislative effect. Members who wish to speak, please press the Request to Speak button. The Council will proceed to a debate on the motion on promoting tourism plus catering to be moved by Mr. Jonathan Leung. 3 members will move amendment to the motions. This Council will proceed to a joint debate on the motion and the amendments. I will first call upon Mr. Jonathan Leung to speak and move the motion. Then I will call upon Ms. Vivian KONG, Mr. Pok-chi, and Mr. Pak-leung to speak in sequence, but they may not move the amendments at this stage. The joint debate now begins. I now call upon Mr. Jonathan Leung to speak and move the motion. Mr. Jonathan Leung. President, thank you. I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. President, tourism industry is one of the most important economic pillars of Hong Kong. We have this brand as International Culinary Club. According to a study, 90% of inbound tourists had a plan to experience culinary culture is attractive and is a key driving force. We are a melting pot of Chinese and Western food cultures. We offer diversified options. And according to the latest ranking, 2 of our restaurants are among the top 50 best restaurants in 2026. 200 restaurants were listed as one of the Michelin starred restaurants in the guide. And we also have many bars that are ranked among the world's 50 best bars. We organize this wine and dine festival every year. Many tourists come to Hong Kong just for this event. This shows that there is great potential for our food culture to be one of the core pillars of our tourism industry. So I think that the government should promote our food culture, organize more events to attract inbound tourists. We should also try to retain the visitors in Hong Kong and enhance the amount they spend here. Although we receive recognition internationally regarding our catering industry, the relevant trade face pressure. We see a loss in customers. We see a shortage of manpower. The cost of operation is going up, including the salary, the rentals, the fuel charges, so on and so forth. Many restaurants closed down. The war in the Middle East have driven up the cost of fuel and oil. The operating cost of restaurants has also gone up because of the higher delivery charges. The trade does not dare to transfer the burden to the customers. In turn, they rolled out discounts in order to make more sales with a lower price. In the Golden Week, it seems that we had more people going to restaurants, but they're focused in tourism spots. So I think that the government should promote this idea of tourism is everywhere in Hong Kong and promote night economy so that we can let tourists know the local characteristics of the 18 districts. The tourism board rolled out this Taste Hong Kong Gourmet Guide to promote the culinary experience in all 18 districts to make sure that visitors go to all the districts here. This will promote the catering industries here in Hong Kong. We have over 18,000 restaurants and eateries in Hong Kong. We don't have a dedicated department to coordinate and promote the overall development of the industry. Currently, the FHD is responsible for regulating food hygiene. The Labor Department is responsible for importing labor. The Tourism Board is responsible for promoting the catering industries in Hong Kong. We don't have a coordinated goal. Many traditional restaurants shut down. The government sees it as a commercial decision. There is a lack of support for our catering industry. So I think that we need a dedicated department to set out long-term goals for the catering industries and promote digitalization in the trade. In other places, they have support measures for their industry. Shanghai published an action plan to promote digitalization in catering industries in November last year. They have set down the goals for the catering industry development, and it is said that by 2028, the digitalization rate of a chain restaurant should be as high as 50%. Singapore also actively retain traditional restaurants, and they have dedicated fund to promote internationalization and innovation of restaurants. These are something that we should learn from. We should turn the catering industries into our driving engines for economy. Although we have already the technology vouchers and digital transformation pilot scheme to help the industry digitalize and upgrade, but the progress is rather slow. The participants only update their electronic payment system or customers management system. The government is planning to inject an additional $300 million to expand the coverage to include artificial intelligence, system security, so on and so forth. But I think that the government also need to support the trade in maintaining their electronic systems so that they have more confidence to go digital. The government has been recently improving the application process for licenses. In 2023, the government rolled out this professional certification system, and it is applicable to not just light refreshment restaurants, but also food manufacturers. It means that the licensees can operate first before the FVHD vet the premises, before the license is approved. But the applicants continue to adopt the old mechanism because the applicant need to hire authorized persons to participate in the professional certification systems. If the license is not granted, in the end, the applicant need to bear other consequences. The professional certification systems has not streamlined the procedures. The applicants are only required to engage an additional expert and middleman to process the application. The government has streamlined the application for outdoor seating accommodation. This is a great move. The applicants for food license often have to wait a long time before their applications are approved. If we adopt this joint vetting approach, then we can streamline the entire process and shorten the time taken. Regarding the liquor license, the government is of the view that the risk of crime is high among liquor establishment. As a result, licensees are asked to station at the premises, but that cannot meet the demand. And I think that is commonplace for restaurants to offer liquor, but the government adopt and across the board to regulate the development of the catering industry. I think that we need to review the licensing system. In 2025, in GMTI, we ranked the third. This shows that Hong Kong is popular among Muslim tourists, but we only have 200 halal certified restaurants. We cannot meet the market demand. So I think that the government should work with the trade to encourage more restaurants to seek halal certification so that we can be more attractive to visitors from Muslim countries. We need fresh provisions to support the catering industry. And this is how we can attract famous restaurants to establish presence here. Apart from traditional Chinese ingredients after the after the influenza. Chicken became very expensive, and many restaurants find it hard to afford them. So I think that we need to stabilize the supply of poultry to make the pricing more affordable to enhance our competitiveness. So I think that there is great potential for Hong Kong to establish as an international culinary hub. I think that we need a dedicated department to coordinate and promote the development of the catering industry, so that we can promote the sustainable development of the industry. Thank you.
I now propose the question to you that the motion moved by Mr. Jonathan Leung be passed. Ms. Vivian KONG. Thank you, Deputy President. Food is very important to the people in Chinese culture. And in the past, we have had a shortage of resources. Food is an important resource, so we will often ask people whether they have eaten. This is an important part of people's relationships. It is also a common language in the world. And through the unique charm and vibrancy of Hong Kong cuisine, we can tell good stories of Hong Kong. The history and culture of a place will ultimately become a part of their food. And we can have different experiences combined with food to provide even more unique experiences to people. Recently, I had an experience in Aberdeen when I had noodles on a boat, and that has really become a great ending to the experience. We only have one of such restaurants now, and after 4 years of advocacy and with the support of the government, the vessel ultimately got the food factory license, and I very much appreciate the help of the government in this. I hope the government will continue to support the intangible cultural heritage of Hong Kong in terms of food, and on the premise of complying with relevant regulations, we can help the operators upgrade and transform. It can also help boost tourism because it will become a unique part of the experience. We have food tourism becoming a core engine for growth of global tourism. And we should also combine that with the hosting of mega events. We want to make sure we have different activities to retain tourists for longer. Ticketing revenue is limited. It is important in events economy to have secondary consumption in accommodation, retail, and F&B. We can have perhaps the industry design routes so that spectators before and after events can go eat at some shops or go to Kowloon City to have afternoon tea to truly boost consumption further. We also need to boost sustainable development in tourism. The newer generation of tourists attach great importance to sustainable development, and we can perhaps combine food tourism along with ecological conservation. Food is an indicator of health, and if we have a decline in food quality, it is a loss of the culture and ecology. We can perhaps make good use of farm-to-table experiences so that we can channel the funds into supporting agriculture and fisheries in Hong Kong and thereby support ecological conservation. We want to have experiences that are unique of Hong Kong, and we can combine the food, culture, and ecology of Hong Kong to show to the world we not only are an international culinary hub, but we also pay great attention to legacy. We can work together to create a culture like this. I hope members will support the motion and all the amendments. Mr. Pok-chi. Thank you, Deputy President. The National 15th Five-Year Plan specifically says we have to have deep integration of culture and tourism. Food is a core component of culture, and we should try to shape tourism with culture and vice versa. I think the best starting point in Hong Kong is to make use of food and leverage on our advantages of local agriculture and fisheries. First of all, we have seen good recovery of tourism industry of Hong Kong. In 2025, we have close to 50 million visitors in Hong Kong. We have double-digit growth for both mainland and overseas visitors. We have also seen an increase in tourism consumption. Our status as an important location for visitors is consolidated, and our unique culture of eats, meets, wets food is a unique charm for visitors. We have the Agri Enjoy and Fish Enjoy schemes where we are developing leisure tourism. It has become an important component of ecological tourism. The F&B industry in Hong Kong is quite unique. We have our own cuisine, but we also have international cuisine. The Tourism Board launched the Taste Hong Kong tasting guide or gourmet guide that has been promoting local food. And we are also a top travel destination in the global Muslim travel index rankings. We have great potential in integrating tourism and catering. The government has also been working hard to promote development of local agriculture and fisheries. In the middle of this year, the AFCD will have a unified brand for local products. We will have certification, testing, and traceability mechanism. It will resolve the fragmentation issue of local products, where we have products that are not recognized. We should seize the opportunity to have specific seasonal menus, to have menus that really showcase the charm of Hong Kong. And we should make sure that we promote these to tourists. We have close to 60 farms in leisure, agriculture, and fisheries. We have great potential to develop further, combining that with tourism. Unfortunately, right now, the models of operation are not very diversified. They are mainly about visits or just fishing. It is hard for us to really unleash the consumption potential. We should have the government promote cooperation between farms and the tourism industry to have more food-themed agriculture and fisheries products themed experiences so that we can have an integration of the agriculture and fisheries experiences and food. Deputy President, I'm proposing amendments that will, on top of the original motion, ask for more business opportunities to attract more high value added visitors, high-end visitors, through the enhancement of ancillary infrastructure and facilities, to have diversified development of tourism, to truly promote culture through tourism and shape tourism with cultural activities. With the synergy of different industries and the alignment of our measures with the National 15 5-year plan and the city's 5-year plan, we can promote the continuous upgrading of industries and consolidate Hong Kong's status as an international culinary hub. Thank you. I hope members can support my amendments. Mr. Pak-leung. Deputy President, Hong Kong's food culture is East meets West, and it is all along quite unique. And we have different elements of tourism, 6 of them. Food is ranked first. So food in travel experiences is a very important part. And we should make use of tourism plus catering, the concept. And my amendment is about how the government should promote cross-sector collaboration between the catering industry and tourism-related industry and set up publicity on Hong Kong's gourmet food. Let me say this, Hong Kong is a hub for East meets West food culture. It is a unique destination for food tourism for visitors. Not only do we have Western cuisine, we also have different types of Chinese cuisine, Guangdong cuisine, and we also have Sichuan cuisine, so that visitors don't have to visit the different provinces of China. They can already explore the different cuisines in Hong Kong. People can also come to Hong Kong for French, Italian, Japanese, Southeast Asian cuisines. The dual gateway function of Hong Kong has provided a unique experience for visitors. Not only does it meet people's needs for good food, it also promotes cross-cultural exchange in terms of food. All along, the catering industry is closely related to the tourism-related industries. I very much understand what Mr. Jonathan Leung's concerns are. There are some difficulties, but I think with the promotion of tourism plus catering, we can't only have the industries support. We need the government support to be the facilitator and promoter to promote cooperation between different industries. I recently took part in an activity hosted by Tourism Board and Chinese Culinary Institute. We have 50 chefs recommending 250 restaurants, making compiling a gourmet guide, also inviting influencers from different parts of the world to promote the food of Hong Kong. While we want to attract visitors, we must also encourage locals to patronize restaurants in Hong Kong. The government should also make good use of the tourism industry and try to promote in-depth integration of the catering industry and tourism-related industries. We can have foodie routes. We can promote local foods and combine them with cultural experiences. We can perhaps have classes where visitors can study under famous chefs, learning how to make specific foods of Hong Kong. Not only will that boost revenue for the catering industry, it is also an important part of cultural exchange and telling good stories of Hong Kong. To have a good taste of Hong Kong, the ingredients and the chefs are equally important. Mr. Jonathan Leung asked for relaxation of supply of live poultry. I think we can do something in that regard. We have good aviation services in Hong Kong. We already have great ingredients from different parts of the world, but we also have some very good provisions locally. I thank the AFCD for actively pushing out the Argate Enjoy and Fish Enjoy schemes and other related measures. But I hope relevant departments will continue to promote cooperation between the catering industry and the agriculture and fisheries so that we can have local provisions made into signature dishes of Hong Kong. It can also work for promotion to locals and visitors. We should also have the government support relevant industries to nurture talents, especially in nurturing chefs. We should create a good impression of chefs to attract more youngsters to join the industry, to tell them how bright prospects are so we can have new blood in the industry. I hope members will support my amendments.
Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. President, I thank Mr. Jonathan Leung for the motion, as well as Mr. Perry Yu, Ms. Vivian Kong, and Mr. Chen Pok-chi for their respective amendments. They've given us the opportunity to discuss in this council how to leverage Hong Kong's culinary excellence to drive sustainable tourism development. Hong Kong's tourism industry is showing strong growth momentum. In Q1 this year, visitor arrivals reached 14.31 million, up 17% year-on-year. The CSTB will continue to adopt the Plus Tourism strategy to provide unique travel experiences for overseas and mainland visitors. As the Chinese saying goes, food is the first necessity of the people. It's a vital element that brings people together and an effective bridge for cultural exchange. Through our culinary offerings, we can attract visitors to Hong Kong and introduce them to our unique blend of Chinese and Western food cultures. And by patronizing the restaurants, the visitors can help boost the tourism sector. Our restaurants are known for their culinary excellence, whether it's street food, Chinese restaurants, or Michelin-starred establishments. They all showcase the diversity of Hong Kong's dining scene. Through a comprehensive promotional strategy, we promote Hong Kong's unique food culture to the world to showcase the city's charm as a gourmet capital. Like Mr. Jonathan Leung said, Hong Kong's catering industry has garnered numerous international awards in recent years. According to Michelin Guide Hong Kong and Macau 2026, Hong Kong is home to 7 3-star restaurants, 13 2-star restaurants, 57 1-star restaurants, and 70 bib gourmand establishments. Also, 6 local restaurants have made the list of Asia's 50 best restaurants, of which 2 claimed the top spots. 2 local bars are featured in the world's 50 best bars, with one of them taking the top place. These international accolades are ample proof of the outstanding performance of Hong Kong's dining industry. To enhance Hong Kong's international image as a gourmet capital, since 2009, the Hong Kong Tourism Board has organized the Hong Kong Wine and Dine Festival annually. It is a flagship event that attracts visitors with global food and wine. Last year, the Wine and Dine Festival was held at the Central Harbourfront for 4 consecutive days. Themed Remix Best of All Worlds, last year's event extended its opening hours until midnight for the first time. It brought together over 300 booths featuring food and wine from 31 countries and regions. The event also featured the Discovery Zone and the Tasting Room, which showcased a collection of top-tier wines and star-rated cuisine from around the globe. The Wine and Dine Festival attracted 163,000 visitors, with the average daily attendance increasing by over 30% compared to 2024. The total sales of tasting tokens also surged by 40%, which is a remarkable achievement. Like Mr. Leung and Mr. Perry Yu and Mr. Chen Pok-chi said, in 2026, in January, the Tourism Board and the Chinese Culinary Institute worked together to launch the Taste Hong Kong Gourmet Guide. Over 50 local celebrity chefs were invited to recommend 250 restaurants across all 18 districts of Hong Kong, covering a wide range of Chinese and international cuisines, from local noodle shops and time-honored eateries to Michelin-starred restaurants and luxury hotel dining venues, each with its own unique charm. We hope that through this guide, visitors can delve into Hong Kong's various districts to explore local cuisine, experience Hong Kong's dining culture, and enjoy Hong Kong's delights. Muslims represent an important source market for us. Travelers from the Middle East have high per capita spending power. Through promotion, education, and certification, the Tourism Board has been promoting Muslim-friendly tourism. In the 2025 Global Muslim Travel Index, Hong Kong secured the 3rd spot as a top Muslim-friendly travel destination among non-OIC markets, making the top 3 for the first time. We were also selected as the most promising Muslim-friendly destination. This affirms our efforts in driving Muslim-friendly tourism. To address the needs of Muslim travelers, we have worked closely with the Incorporated Trustees of the Islamic Community Fund of Hong Kong to promote halal certification for restaurants. We've also worked with Crescent Rating, an internationally renowned Muslim travel consultancy, to rate hotels, attractions, and MICE venues to encourage the industry to enhance their Muslim-friendly facilities. President, the Environment and Ecology Bureau will now speak on its efforts to promote the development of the catering industry. Our Bureau and the EEB will carefully listen to members' views on how to promote tourism plus catering. We'll provide a detailed response in our closing remarks.
환경생態局副局長
Undersecretary for Environment and Ecology. Deputy President, I am grateful to Mr. Jonathan Leung for moving this motion and to Mr. Yu Pak-leung, Ms. Vivian KONG, and Mr. Chen Pok-chi for their amendments. They have affirmed the role of local catering, fisheries, and agriculture industries in driving tourism development while supporting the sustainable growth of these sectors to further polish our brand as an international culinary hub. As at March 2026, there are altogether 17,000 restaurants across Hong Kong. As the Acting Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism mentioned, our eateries offer a diverse fusion of Chinese and Western cuisines, fully demonstrating the multicultural charm of Hong Kong as a culinary capital. Dining is not only an indispensable part of any travel itinerary, but also a vital window through which tourists experience the city's culture. Our catering industries has always been innovative and attuned to market trends, proactively responding to the needs of different customer segments under the direction of the National 15th Five-Year Plan. We are to promote both an efficient market and a well-functioning government. We have been fostering a favorable environment in 3 areas to help the industry seize market opportunities. First, supporting the industry in exploring business opportunities. Second, facilitating business operations. And third, promoting digitalization and automation. First, on supporting the trade to explore business opportunities, we will adjust the regulatory arrangements in a timely manner under the prerequisite of not compromising public health and food safety. This will provide the trade with greater room and flexibility to respond to market demands. For instance, the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department has just launched a new mechanism on the 1st of April this year to expedite the processing of applications for outside seating accommodations of restaurants, facilitating the trade to provide outdoor dining experience for both the locals and tourists. It will also allow operators to apply for the entry of dogs into restaurants, enabling pet-loving people and tourists to dine in at a pet-inclusive atmosphere. Furthermore, the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department will launch a new unified brand for local agricultural and fisheries products in the middle of this year to enhance their quality and profile. We will also continue to promote the farm-to-table collaboration model to encourage the catering industry to procure seasonal local produce that is of high quality, safe, and low carbon. This aims to develop a signature menus with Hong Kong characteristics, providing tourists with fresh and authentic dining experience. Second, facilitating business operations. We are actively enhancing the food business licensing system to shorten the time required for commencement of business, helping the industry seize market opportunities. The existing provisional licensing system allows new operators to run their business while completing the full license application, thereby reducing the time cost of doing business. The FHD has also streamlined the procedures to allow new operators to commence business more quickly after a change of ownership, introduced the professional certification system to provide an additional license first, inspection later option, and relax the restrictions on the types of food that can be sold with the light refreshment restaurant license. Third, promoting digitalization and automation. We actively support the catering industry in adopting innovative technologies and automated equipment, including issuing appropriate permits for new devices such as robotic arm coffee machines and intelligent catering robots. The FHD is also promoting the electronic submission of licensing services, allowing applicants to submit applications, track progress, upload documents, and make payments online, as well as opting for electronic licenses without the need to visit offices in person. This not only reduces administrative costs for the industry, allowing them to focus on enhancing service and their food, but also encourages the wider application of technology, steering the industry toward digitalization and automation to enhance overall competitiveness. I will now listen carefully to the views of the members and provide a consolidated response later. Thank you, President. Mr. Rock Chen. President, I speak in support of Mr. Jonathan Leung's motion. With the change in the travel patterns and consumption patterns of our visitors and the increasing competition from neighboring cities, we need to not just rely on tourism spots, shopping. We need to make good use of our advantage as an international culinary hub to further develop our tourism industry. We need to build our own brand. I have the following views and suggestions. Now, in terms of tourism, there's a war in the Middle East. Some of the transit hubs have been heavily impacted. So I think that Hong Kong needs to make good use of our status as an international aviation hub to draw for travelers for transit. We need to increase the number of routes to Europe and America. And we need to transform transit tourists to inbound tourists so that they spend here. The Airport Authority allow tourists that stay in Hong Kong for over 7 hours for transit, allow them to stay here so that they can spend money in Hong Kong. I think that we need to offer more accommodation to them, such as transportation service, catering, discount, free storage of luggage, so on and so forth. Also, I think that we need to track the structure of inbound tourism. This is how we can lengthen the number of stays people spend here. In the first 8 months of last year, we have 33.2 million people visiting here. The overnight visitors spent about 5,000 to 5,400 per day. For same-day travelers, they spend only about 1,000 to 1,200 per day. So in order to promote local economy, instead of just looking at the number of inbound tourists, we need to look at also how much they spend here per night. We need to attract more overnight visitors so that we can drive the hotel and catering industry. We need to encourage more long-haul visitors to come here. Now, in terms of catering, this is particularly important in consolidating our status as an international culinary hub. Now, the promotional efforts, it's dispersed in various different departments. So I think that as we formulate our first 5-year plan, we need to list tourism plus catering as one of the key projects or goals. We need to have a catering development working group to formulate the development directions. We need to look into how we can vitalize the traditional cooking methods. We need to organize more wine and dine festivals. We need to enhance collaboration. Now we are a melting pot of Chinese and Western food cultures. We have 77 Michelin-starred restaurants. Apart from that, we also have many local eateries with long history that have not been recognized internationally yet. So I hope that we can set becoming an international culinary hub as one of our key performance indicators so that we can build a brand for ourselves. Third, I think that we need to establish a Hong Kong standard for the succession of skills. Some of the cooking methods have ceased to exist because of the complicated procedures involved. I think that we need to work with the Chinese Culinary Institute and the VTC to promote a succession of cooking skills. Cha Tan Ten and similar restaurants now focus on providing service in a more speedy manner. I think that we need to work on it. I hope that the member will support the motion and the amendments. Mr. Andrew Fan. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. Jonathan Leung for moving the motion. Hong Kong is known for being a culinary capital and a shopping paradise. As the trend of tourism is changing, people are focusing more on in-depth tourism. I think that we need to develop new highlights so that we can be more competitive. President, Hong Kong as a melting pot of Chinese and Western food cultures, as an international metropolis, we should show more than just our skyscrapers. We have 250 islands with unique views, and we also have many traditional fishing villages. So I think that we need to combine catering, islands, and tourism. We need to build transport infrastructures that connect all the islands to enrich the tourism elements of Hong Kong, and this will create a new driving force for industry. There is uneven development among different islands. Cheung Chau is famous when there's the Bun Festival, when there's Golden Week, many tourists go there. But for other islands such as Ping Chau, Po Toi Island, these are the places where there are little footfall even during festivals. The only way for tourists to go to these islands, they rely on the central pier. When the tourists want to hop between or among these islands, tourists need to travel between the central pier and the islands. And also, there are very few public facilities at the smaller islands. Tourists find it difficult to even buy a bottle of water or find a toilet on these estates, and it's also difficult for them to obtain information regarding these islands. So I think that the government need to improve the infrastructures linking different islands, and we need to promote our islands. And I think that we need to allow kaitos and water taxis to go between islands, and over the long run, we may want to build bridges among different islands in Hong Kong. President, infrastructures is just a hardware, but I also think that we need software to truly retain tourists. We need interesting and convenient tourism products. Say, for example, maybe we offer a package for tourists to go among different islands, and we need to inject more interesting elements into different islands. Our food has always been what's attractive about Hong Kong, and this can form the experience of our tourists. We have the big fishball of Cheung Chau. We have a sugary donuts of Tai O. These are all very famous food items that we have. So I think that we should streamline the application procedures for food licenses and liquor license to lower the administrative burden of the trade. This will encourage more shops with characteristics to set up shops in the islands, in the remote islands. For smaller islands, they have a lack of conditions to properly process waste. So I think that the FVHD need to streamline all the procedures to ensure that the catering industry can prosper among remote islands. President, Hong Kong has rich marine resources. We have all the conditions to promote tourism plus catering plus remote islands. As we regularize island hopping, then our tourism industry will be more diversified to meet the different needs of our visitors. This is how we can consolidate our status as an international culinary hub and promote high-quality development of our tourism industry. I support the motion and I support all the amendments. Mr. Sunny Tang. Thank you, President. In 2024, we published the Hong Kong Tourism Development Blueprint 2.0. One of the four positioning of ours is that we need to shape tourism with cultural activities and promote culture through tourism. This is how we ensure our visitors experience local culture. And this is by promoting our catering industry is how we can adapt to the change to a consumption and traveling pattern. Hong Kong is a renowned culinary hub. if we have a comprehensive set of facilities and tourists will have a good experience in Hong Kong, I have 3 suggestions. First, we need to improve the licensing system. We have this issue with Tai Pai Tong. We have seen sufficient discussion on it. Tai Pai Tong is one of our very famous attractions. According to 2024 statistics of the government, we only have 17 licenses for Tai Pai Tong. 12 of the licensees are over 60 years old. And this undermines the experience of our visitors. As our society is developing, many chefs switch to electronic cook instead of using old liquid flame. I think that these Tai Pai Tong can improve their facilities, and I hope that the government will adopt a more coordinated and consistent manner to improve the approval process for Tai Pai Tong, maybe included under the food licensing system. Take New York in US and Los Angeles, for example. There are 3 different gradings to restaurants, A, B, C. The grading of the restaurants need to be placed at a conspicuous location at the restaurant. People who want to upgrade their ranking, they would work on improving the environment in their premises. So I think that the government should work with district councils, and this is how we can reshape our local catering industries and offer our people and opportunities to become an entrepreneur with a lower cost. Second, we need to improve marketing and promotion. The textiles industries have just organized a seminar, and there's visitors from the ASEAN countries. They said that they wanted to try out a one-time noodles roast, barbecued roast. In 2024, we have this Art Basel, and we offered local cuisines there. And we were praised by some UK magazines. And they pointed out that the uniform worn by our waiters and waitresses have great taste. So I think that this is how we can promote our soft power. Sometimes, when a KOL praise our food being tasty, that's even more effective than filming promotional videos. Third, I think that we need to improve our facilities. We need to refurbish our traditional tourism spots. A famous eatery in Taiwan have been covered or shaded by a metal house, and I think that this is something that we need to work on through effective planning. I know that the government is now trying to beautify Lan Kwai Fon. They are repaving the walkway. They are trying to install art installations there. We are renowned for being a food paradise, but we also need facilities to further drive sustainable development of tourism industry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Jonathan Stewart Lamport. Deputy President, I speak in support of Mr. Jonathan Leung's motion. Last week, during the Golden Week holiday, I see that our secretary was exchanging with the hotel as well as the catering sector. However, we need to ensure long-term development of the tourism sector. I've talked to the relevant industries. I think in order to do so, we need breakthroughs. Just now, the Undersecretary listed out the Michelin-starred restaurants. I want to talk about how we can make use of our restaurants. The advantages of our restaurants is that they are cheap and they offer quality meals. We need to make an apple-to-apple comparison. The tasting menu of 3 Michelin-starred restaurants, they charge each customer about 200 to 400 US dollars, similar to the level in New York. But in Hong Kong, we charge no liquor duty, and we only charge 10% of service fees. Unlike in the US, they charge $20 of service fees. And in general, we are much cheaper than the restaurants overseas. Also, overseas, if you want to go to a 3-star Michelin restaurant, you have to wait for a long time. And you need to know someone in order to get in. However, in Hong Kong, if you ask your hotel for help, you can probably visit the Michelin-starred restaurant in about a week. For those who like Michelin-starred restaurants, this is an appeal. In Hong Kong, there are about 100 concierge staff that are given the honorary badge. In the world, there are 4,000 to 5,000 of them, and in Hong Kong alone, there are 100 of them, and that's very rare. These concierge staff, they know the taboo of various countries, and they have years of experience receiving visitors from various places. This cannot be caught up by other countries very easily. If you ask me what our competitiveness are, these are our intangible assets. Also, we have to attract Muslim travelers. Just now, Undersecretary talked about Muslim tourism. Last year, according to GMTI, we are ranked the 3rd. At least 195 got the halal certification in Hong Kong, thanks to the efforts of the government as well as the sector. The halal certification was the responsibility of BOT in Hong Kong. From the sourcing of food as well as other procedures, they stick to the Islamic culture very closely, and they also meet the sanitary standard. We can make use of this halal certification scheme. In Wan Chai, there is a halal restaurant that sells chicken siu mai, and even without adding pig oil, they can meet the requirement. And so even in Hong Kong, Muslim travelers will be able to taste what is offered in Michelin-starred restaurants. This kind of cultural experience that we can present to our travelers is an appeal to Muslim visitors. Some say that Michelin-starred restaurants or halal restaurants are for the minority. However, the per capita spending of these visitors are 3-fold or 3 times of that of other visitors. We know that the CE will bring a delegation to Kazakhstan as well as Uzbekistan. They belong to the Muslim market, and so they display strong spending power. They will not only boost the revenue of restaurants here, but also that of the hotel and retail industries. We have to leverage our advantages and strengths. We can offer 5-star services, just charging 4-star prices. We should promote high-end tourism in order for the general public to share the fruits of the development and to truly polish the brand of Hong Kong. I so submit. Next, Mr. Andrew Fan. Mr. Alex Fan. I support the motion. Hong Kong is known as a gourmet capital, and the catering industry is the core of our tourism industry. However, the catering industry recently faced challenges. 90% of the light refreshment kiosks were closed, and according to a survey, last year over 2,000 restaurants in Hong Kong were folded. For the first 5 months this year, at least 14 Chinese-style restaurants were closed. And compared to the peak in 2018, the number of Chinese restaurants in Hong Kong dropped by about 300, representing about 20%. Comparatively speaking, in Shenzhen, restaurants there are much cheaper and they offer better services. In 2025, inbound visitors spent in total $26.4 billion, and Hong Kong and Macau visitors account for 80% of the spending. Hong Kong cannot compete with Shenzhen in this regard. We have to instead promote high-end tourism. We have to leverage our strengths as well as international network. We have to make good use of the rating system. According to 2025 Michelin Guide, Hong Kong accounts for 7 out of the 9 Michelin-starred restaurants. There are over 76 Michelin-starred restaurants, and the Asia 50 best restaurants were brought to Hong Kong, and we secured the top 3 spots. This is how we can promote high-end tourism. Objectively speaking, the government has rolled out the halal certification subsidy schemes as well as the licensing system. This is the right direction. However, in order to make breakthroughs and attract high-spending travelers, I have the following 3 suggestions. First, we have to encourage the relevant industries to take part in international rating systems. With the rating, we can attract high-spending travelers. Apart from working with Michelin, we should attract Asia's 50 best restaurants, Black Pearl Restaurant Guide, and so on. The Tourism Board has already staged the award ceremony of Asia's 50 best restaurants, and Hong Kong has gained international accolades in these rankings. We have to build on this and encourage top-tier local restaurants to join Asia's 50 best restaurants as well as Black Pearl Restaurant Guide. And the results of this guide should be promoted by the Tourism Board so as to enhance our reputation. Second, we have to, in a systematic manner, tap into the Muslim market. The Tourism Board has already rolled out the halal certification scheme. Also, in the Taste Hong Kong guide, there is this halal certification list. This is the right direction. However, people have to rely on online information. There is a lack of offline promotion. There should be a multilingual halal certified restaurant map. This should be disseminated in the high-speed rail link station, hotels, as well as immigration checkpoints. In Kai Tak Sports Ground, as well as in tourist hotspots, there should be promotion as well, so that Muslim travelers, when they come to Hong Kong, they can get the information right away. Third, we should make use of the Top Talent Pass scheme. We should set up a special talent channel. The talent list was updated in 2025 and it covers 60 professional trades. However, chefs were not included in the list. The administration should draw reference from the existing mechanism. It should set up a scheme targeting top-tier international chefs to attract them to come work or exchange in Hong Kong. This can broaden local industries' horizons, and we can leverage their reputation to attract high-spending travelers so that talent will draw travelers and travelers will also help bring in talent. We have been seeing greater and more fierce competition. We have to promote high-end tourism. I hope the administration could take on board my above suggestions, promote the transformation of catering industry, attract more high-spending travelers, enhance our status as a gourmet capital to promote the sustainable development of the tourism sector and tell good stories of Hong Kong. I so submit. Next, Mr. Ray Wong. I thank Mr. Jonathan Leung for the motion. I support the motion. Tourism sector is an important pillar of Hong Kong's economy, and tourism is a core. Hong Kong is known as a gourmet capital. It is a melting pot of Chinese and Western cultures. There are Michelin-starred restaurants as well as local snack shops. Currently, we are at a critical juncture of seeing high-quality development of tourism sector. We need deep integration of tourism and catering, and this is how we can enhance our competitiveness. I support promoting tourism plus catering as the core strategy. To promote gourmet food as an attraction of Hong Kong, the government should establish a department to coordinate this. We should focus on attracting Muslim visitors by promoting halal certified restaurants so that we can move to the next stage. We have to first understand the Muslim market. According to statistics, there are over 2 billion people who are Muslims. They account for 1/4 of the total world's population. It is expected that 2 years later, global Muslim visitors will reach 230 million, up 60% compared to 2019. Their spending could account for about 7 trillion Hong Kong dollars. What is encouraging is that we already have the foundation. According to the 2025 GMTI, we are ranked 3rd in terms of Muslim-friendly destination. We are just falling behind Singapore and the UK. In non-OIC markets, Hong Kong ranked 1st in terms of Muslim-friendly destinations. If we can adopt a targeted approach, we'll be able to attract travelers from the Belt and Road countries, from the Middle East, and so on. Now, we have to improve the halal certification system. From ingredients, processing procedures, and other processes, they all have to meet the religious belief. The halal menu could not only meet local demands, but also meet the needs of visitors. Currently, BOT and the Tourism Board has been promoting the halal certification scheme. They have come up with a classification system. However, there is a lack of halal restaurants that join the scheme, and there is a lack of supporting measures. As we promote new industrialization, I think we have to integrate emerging markets as well as traditional sectors. In order to tie in with the National 15th Five-Year Plan, I have the following 3 suggestions. First, we have to improve the certification scheme. The administration should improve the scheme by enhancing the coverage from BOT recognized restaurants to the service quality scheme or Q-mark scheme. We have to have more hotels and processing industries to join the scheme so that we can gain global recognition and that our halal food can meet the standards. Second, we have to improve the supporting measures and enhance visitors' experience. As said, the government should have more restaurants and hotels that establish halal-friendly or Muslim-friendly areas. In tourist attractions, there could be prayer rooms as well as relevant facilities for Muslims. This is to help build a Muslim-friendly environment. Third, we have to step up training and remove cultural barriers. In this regard, we have to strengthen training for operators. We have to help operators understand the requirements. On the other hand, at the community level, we have to promote Muslim culture. We have to enhance the understanding and knowledge of practitioners and members of the public so that we can become a well-known Muslim-friendly destination. Hong Kong has its unique advantages. Tapping into the Muslim market is the global trend. We need to promote tourism plus catering. This is not just to drive trade and also other areas. It will also help us build on the Belt and Road Initiative and enhance our global status. I so submit.
Mr. Chen Yung. Thank you, President. I would also like to thank the 2 secretaries for attending this session. We support and agree with Mr. Jonathan Leung. We thank Mr. Jonathan Leung for proposing the motion. We also thank the 3 other members for proposing amendments that will boost the foundations of Hong Kong as an international tourism hub. I want to talk about how we can consolidate the diversified tourism resources to promote tourism and catering in Hong Kong so that we have more expedited and efficient development. We heard President Xi say how we need to integrate culture and tourism in the country as a whole, and we need to promote a high-quality development of cultural and tourism industries. We would need to make them into pillar industries, livelihood industries. And we heard the chief executive say we need to have the city's first 5-year plan. And I believe an important part of it is about aligning with the national 15 5-year plan, specifically about how we can promote in-depth integration of culture and tourism, and to take forward the country's development as a tourism powerhouse to promote Chinese culture. And the chief executive has been leading the SAR government in actively developing tourism resources. And with the president's leadership, we have seen many delegation visit the Legislative Council. We would like to specifically thank the China Tourism Service for sending us the 2 panda statues. And we have a lot of people taking photos of the statues. We want to thank the community for their contributions. According to the government's data, last year we have close to 50 million visitors. We have 12% increase in number of mainland visitors. The Disneyland Resort has reversed its trend of incurring losses. It has finally made a profit. We have over 1 million people visiting Hong Kong during the Labor Day Golden Week. We have great nature ecology in Hong Kong. We have lush mountains and lucid waters. We only need an hour's commute to travel from an urban area of Hong Kong to other areas of Hong Kong. I'm sure we all know about red tourism also. We need to make sure there is patriotic education. We have great potential in red tourism. What is about other forms of tourism? We have gold tourism. We have financial tourism. A lot of companies listing in Hong Kong. It can really help Hong Kong develop as an international financial center. Before there were people, we already have some relics of the past, prehistoric relics. We had only tigers and turtles in Hong Kong before there was human occupation. And we had after that fishermen and farmers from the north of mainland China coming to Hong Kong. And many people like looking at these relics. We all along do not have recognition of our food. We have some in Turkey and I believe Phuket, but we have Chu Chow food or Trenzhou food. They have been recognized as well. Hong Kong food has never been recognized. I think non-intangible cultural heritage tourism experiences are great characteristic experiences of Hong Kong. We can have high-speed rail routes because there won't be traffic congestion. We want to make sure we develop further connections with mainland and other parts of the world so that we can have integration of the tourism related industries and the catering industry. Thank you. Mr. Chen Pui-leung. Thank you, President. I would like to thank Mr. Jonathan Leung for proposing the motion. During the Labor Day Golden Week, we have great number of visitors. We have great crowds in traditional tourism areas. It has really boosted the F&B industry. We have long queues at restaurants, including at some small shops. And some visitors said they came specifically to taste the food of Hong Kong. So we can see this has along been an attractive point for visitors. We are a gourmet paradise. We have traditional cuisines, but we also have high-end cuisines. We can meet the demands of high-end visitors, but we also have things that can meet the demands of the general visitors who want some traditional foods. I think apart from having publicity on high-end dining, we need to in response to the changes in consumption habits of visitors, strengthen publicity on local foods. We should step up publicity in different parts of the world, and we also need to strengthen the two pillars in high-end food as well as traditional food. We also need to help the catering industry go digital. We have the highest intensity of Michelin restaurants. We have over 200 restaurants included in international rankings. We should not only publicize Hong Kong as a luxury paradise, we should specifically say we are a gourmet paradise. We also should have more international food brands come to Hong Kong. We have the best bars and best restaurants reward ceremony held in Hong Kong. We have different chefs, gourmet experts, media coming to Hong Kong. I think we can develop Hong Kong as a platform for exchanges in food to become a hub of food culture. The traditional foods of Hong Kong are an important part of the local culture. As we see changes in consumption habits of visitors, we have more people liking city walk experiences. And if we can have in city walk experiences connect food history and culture so that food will become a cultural IP, it will really work. And we have the Old Yang Ma Tei police station being very popular among visitors. The Yang Ma Tei district office has been working hard to connect that with the different landmarks in Yang Ma Tei district, connecting history, food, culture, and tourism. And visitors are able to go to different parts of Yang Ma Tei to really embrace the local charm. And I think we can expand the arrangements to different districts of Hong Kong, such as the Southern District, so that we can have people have noodles on that specific vessel in Typhoon Shelter. We can also have visitors visit different temples. We can have different routes so that visitors can have an in-depth understanding of the local culture, so we can provide them with in-depth experiences of food tourism. We also need to provide ancillary facilities and services. We need to make sure there are online reservation systems as well as electronic payment methods available, because they are important parts of the experience of visitors. We have in 2024 the government allocating funding of $500 million to the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Program to help the retail and catering industries, especially the SMEs, make use of digital technology. And in the catering industry, we only have 30% odd of the cases approved among the total number of cases. That is not a lot. I think the government needs to review what difficulties are faced by the catering industry in taking part in the program. We should have targeted measures for them so that we can really help them go digital and transform. I so speaking in support of the motion and all amendments. Members, as we do not have enough time today to complete the motion debate, I will suspend the meeting at about 6:45. Mr. Stephen Ho. I thank Mr. Chen Pui-leung for speaking in particular noodles on the vessel. We have fishermen in the past, after they have concluded fishing operations, they would eat noodles with the different leftovers, and it actually tastes really good. When we promote culture, I think it is hard to really preserve the whole part of the culture due to administrative restrictions. I understand the FEHD has to regulate licenses. We have great communication in recent years, so we have seen some relaxation in restrictions. But then we have certain experiences in farms that would still require the farms to have food factory licenses. This is outdated. It does not meet the demands of the catering industry. And we have specifically these operators of having noodles of vessels that are managed by the Marine Department before. Now, those selling boat noodles are fishermen. And if you have to have before the turnover, if they are surrendering their vessels, they will have their licenses managed by the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department. After the handover, it has been confusing. It would take 5 years to really sort out everything. And we also have a requirement that the operators have to operate at specific locations. That's why we have less of such operators now, and the prices are much higher. The Food and Environmental Hygiene Department did not consider this. All they cared about was stability and safety, but these are important too. When we go traveling, we often care about the food, and we need to make sure we have good ingredients. We need to make sure in Hong Kong, we have fresh provisions. 30 or 40 years ago, that is not long after I was born, it was a golden era for Hong Kong. The mainland just started its reforms, and we have different provisions. We have different poultry, soup. Now, in the mainland, every day they consume much more poultry than before. So there is less incentive for mainland suppliers to supply to Hong Kong. We have, therefore, a lower bargaining power. We need to make sure we can still purchase quality ingredients and services in affordable prices. Unfortunately, now the market is not good to us. I apologize. You have done something about hairy crabs, but I don't think it's working. We want to have stable selling channels. That is very important. If we need to do well in catering, we need to look at other locations' experiences. We have to understand what is happening in different cities of mainland. Some cities of mainland China will not have slaughterhouses, so they will no longer have freshly slaughtered meat. I think this can be a characteristic of ours. We can provide fresh meat. We still have thousands of pigs coming from the mainland. We need to therefore promote awareness on the difference. We have fresh pigs, we have frozen pigs. I mean, if people don't care, they can just go to KFC. A few years ago, the government said you can't really separate frozen meat and fresh meat. I think we need to really leverage on our advantages. We need to make sure we are leveraging on our bargaining power to provide good experiences. I so submit.
Mr. Lee Chen-kan. Thank you, President. I support promoting tourism plus catering, and I also think that the government need to be innovative to promote tourism and catering and treat it as our strategic driving force to develop our tourism industry. We all know that Hong Kong is a culinary hub. This is more than a brand. This is the result of our efforts of building a melting pot of Chinese and Western food cultures. However, there is increasing competition from our neighbors. We should be innovative, and the government need to adopt a more macro and forward-looking approach to help the catering industry upgrade and transform. Now, the efforts spans across different departments such as EEB, the FHD, so on and so forth. So the industry practitioners told me that it takes a long time before they can be approved with a license or before they can participate in the mega events. So I support Mr. Jonathan Leung's suggestions for the government to establish a dedicated department to coordinate and promote the overall development of the catering industry. This is how we have a department to reach out to. Given the complicated procedures for the application of food licenses and liquor license, this has increased the cost of a startup by people. I know that the government has rolled out a professional certification systems that allow for the licensees to run their business first before obtaining a license. The business operators then start their business first, and then the FHD will vet their applications. They will conduct site visits afterwards. However, under these professional certification systems, applicants need to engage an authorized persons with their own money. So many applicants would rather go for the old route. I think that the government needs to further shorten the time taken for approving any licenses. I think that the government need to relax all the restrictions. Also, given the increasing number of visitors from the Middle East, we don't have enough halal certified restaurants to meet the demand. I think that the government should work with local Islamic organizations to build a list of halal certified restaurants, and maybe we can offer tax concessions to encourage high-end restaurants or street delicacies to go for halal certification. Maybe they can replace their original ingredients or set up a separate cooking area to enhance our attractiveness to Muslim tourists. One of the key reasons why we're so attractive is that our food ingredients is fresh. We need to make sure that the top-notch ingredients can come to Hong Kong the cost-effective and speedy manner. And I think that the government should make sure that there is a stable supply of fresh produce. Our catering industry is the soul of our city. I'm sure that we all agree that behind the wonton noodles, the egg tarts, the milk tea, it's the hard work of our local people. So I think that the government need to have a dedicated department to streamline the food license. We need to streamline the administrative procedures. We need to improve our fresh produce supply chain so that we can continue to become an international culinary hub, so that when tourists come to Hong Kong, they would feel home. This is how we can further promote our brand. I so submit, I support Mr. Leung's motion. Mr. Lothar Lam. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. Jonathan Leung for moving the motion. I support it. The tourism industry is one of the major pillars of our economy. According to CNSD, it accounts for 2.8% of the GDP. The tourism industry is also how we can showcase our charm. We have a diversified food culture. We are a melting pot of Chinese and Western infrastructures and architecture. These are invaluable cultural resources. We need to make good use of them. So I think that through food and culture elements, we can develop more tourism products. Say, for example, we can organize more food-themed events. We can develop itinerary based on our food culture. The development of tourism and catering industry has everything to do with the logistics and transport industry. By improving our food supply chain or ingredient supply chain, we have to also work on our cold chain logistics service to make sure that our customers or our visitors enjoy fresh produce. In order for us to promote the tourism industry, we need to improve our transport infrastructures. The coach industry told me that at Tsim Sha Tsui, at central districts where there are a lot of tourists, there are not enough parking spaces for coaches, and this affects the itinerary of travel tours. Over the past few years, there are only 4,500 parking spaces per coach with no significant increase. The ratio between parking spaces and licensed coach is about 0.65. So For every 3 parking spaces, only 2 can park there. I noticed that the government have been reviewing whether there is enough parking spaces for coaches and tourism spots across different districts in Hong Kong. I hope that the government will strengthen the review and roll out short to medium-term measures by increasing the number of parking spaces for coach to meet the industry demand. Also, I think that the government need to work with the trade to look into whether the different travel agents can work on scheduling their tours so that the shortage of parking spaces can be resolved. And I also think that the government should promote marine tourism. Due to a lack of infrastructures, this has posed limitations to island hopping tours. Where there is potential demand, I think that we need to create routes of vessels there. We also have potential with developing aviation tourism. I know that the government is working on low-altitude economy. In the mainland, they have this air taxis. Visitors can ride on the drones to appreciate the views of the cities. Although we're just starting to develop this low-altitude economy, I hope that the policy bureaus will work on coordination so that we can develop more routes for low-altitude tourism. President, we're off to a great start for the industry. In the first quarter, we have 1.4 million visitors coming to Hong Kong. That's an increase of 70%. I hope that the government will continue to work with the trade to attract more tourists, to inject more impetus into our economy so that the visitors can feel the diverse culture and energy of Hong Kong. I also submit. The meeting is concluded. It's adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow.